Thank you, Kathy. Great. Well, it's afternoon here for me, and I don't know where you may be, but whatever it is, we just like to thank you for taking out of your time. We know that one thing you cannot get back is time, but here with Wakana, if there's a follicle, you can get some hair back. So that's what we're excited about. And as Kathy said, I am sitting in my car on the parking lot of the hospital where my daughter is having surgery, and I know she's going to be all right, but I'm a mommy. So I want to be as close to her as I could be, although with this pandemic, I told Kathy it's pandemic now for me, that I can't get in that hospital, but I am out here on this lot and as close as I can be to her at this time. So if a call comes through, Kathy, I have to take it if it's regarding her.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I get it. I get it.
Yes,
So,
yes. So I know she's gonna be all right because she definitely was a taker of not only the hemp powered hair, has the power relief cream. She was doing all kind of stuff. So I know she's gonna be all right. But
good
you
stuff.
guys bear with me today. It's my child, and I'm out here in my car on this lot.
Doris, we
But
absolutely appreciate you participating today. You know, sometimes when people are worried and have something else on their mind, it takes them out of the loop. We just appreciate you for your commitment.
oh yes, oh yes. But anyway, Kathy, I'm excited about hemp powered hair because for one, I'm a user. And I was losing my hair, you guys. Was diffusing right up here in the top. And I was saying, Lord, I cannot lose my hair. Talking about hair loss and hair restoration, I can't save my own. But I have been diagnosed with CCCA, and I'm going to tell you what that means. That was centrally located here in the top. Centrifugal is the other C. It started to spread out. Cicatricial, it was scar tissue alopecia. And I was like, oh no, something, So I got involved with the hemp powered hair ingredients, and look, I have a full head of hair. It wasn't an overnight success. It was like 2 months, and my daughter did a hair journey with me. So 2 months before I started seeing some results. Then after that, 8 months later, I was full-fledged. And then I said, you know what? Am I going to have to use this the rest of my life? Or if I stop, like most of those products out there, if you stop using them, your hair fall back out. So I just stopped for 2 months. I said, I'm going to stop for 2 months and see what happened. 2 months later, my hair was still doing great. I said, okay, I'll start back. I just wanted to know that I wasn't going to lose it. But in using the product, you guys, once you open your product, and you take and drop it in this scalp area where you're challenged, or as Kathy showed you, you put it under your tongue. You do not want to let that dropper touch your hair or your scalp or your mouth, only because we don't want you to contaminate your own product. And that could really easily happen because most of the time, if your hair is not clean, you dropping it in because you do it about 3 times a week, and you do it the same as under the tongue. So you want to make sure that you do not make contact. Yes, just like you see Kathy doing it there. It's not being contacted with your mouth or with your hair.
Awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about the hair, Doris? About how many hair follicles do we have over our bodies?
Okay, at birth, you are born with over 5 million hair follicles over the entire body. And you know what? Over 100,000 of those, Kathy, make it to the head.
Wow.
Now, if you lose one, you have lost a strand of hair that will never return. Because remember, it's the death of a follicle, it's the death of a strand of hair. You cannot resurrect the dead, and the same as with your hair follicle. You cannot resurrect that hair follicle. It's gone. And most of the time, Kathy, people don't realize that they have lost that until they're 51% losing before
Wow.
they recognize that the hair is gone. So I always say, if you see something, as John Lewis, I love to repeat him now, because he said, if you see something, say something. So if you see excessive hair on your shoulder, in the shower, in the shampoo bowl, excessive means you're losing more than 50 to 100 strands a day. And most of the times you don't even see those strands because the wind is blowing it out. You're combing or brushing them out. You don't even see them. So the few that lands on your shoulder or in the shower or in the shampoo bowl, if you can really recognize all of that, that means it's too much. Now, if you're wearing stationary hairstyles, such as Kathy, if Kathy took her hair loose. If she could, I know she can't, but if she could, she will have a lot of hair that would come out, simply because although she has a stationary, permanent style, that is her hair that is being shedded is winding up in there, and it's just going longer and longer. But if she had braids that she could take out in 6 weeks, she will see those 50 to 100 strands are there. It's just that they wasn't able to get out. Now, if you do have that situation where you braid it, or you have your French rolls or your updos or whatever those stationary styles are, once you take them down, you're going to make sure that you comb that hair out from the ends to the scalp. Get all of that loose hair out of there that would have shedded on the norm. But if you do not do that, you will have a complete disaster, because now that you wet it, that hair has gotten all tangled up into your hair that is still connected, and you will have a challenge getting that out. So that's very important. That's why I always share with people, from my experience with the use of hemp powered hair, if you're wearing a weave, meaning that you have hair attached to your braids, you are to dry after you shampoo and condition that hair. You are to dry that hair 50%. And then you take your dropper and drop 12 drops into half to an ounce of water, depending on how much hair you have. And you're going to spray that scalp and those braids every time you shampoo. Now, what happens? I found that it's less hair is shedding when you do that. You're going to shed. That's a normal process, because hair grows through 3 phases. The anagen phase, which is your growing phase, the catagen phase, which is your resting transitional phase, and then it goes into your telogen phase, which is your shedding phase. But when you're in anagen phase, that's your growing phase. That's where the hair is getting good blood supply. The follicle is getting good blood supply, because the follicle is what nourishes that strand. So you want to make sure that you use your product. I can't even stress that enough, because most people, some of you may be on this line, you buy the product and you put it on the shelf and you expect for it to work. And you say after a couple of months, that product didn't work for me. Well, no, it did not, because it does not work on the shelf.
You mean
It
it's
does
not
not work in your
osmosis?
bottle.
It's not osmosis?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh,
You
well,
must,
that's good
you,
to know.
yes, you must put it on your scalp and you must put it under your tongue. Then, if your follicle is still alive, then some people say, well, how can you tell if your follicle is still alive, Doris? If you rub your hand over your scalp and you feel a little stubbiness or you see fuzz, that means the follicle is still there. It could be sluggish, sick, or just slow. But if you use a hemp powered hair, it will stimulate, because we have stimulating oils in there. We have black seed oil would help get rid of that itchy scalp and the anti-inflammatory, which inflammation is one of the leading causes of hair loss. That's because we have our wrong diet. We eat a lot of carbohydrates, we eat a lot of sugar, and that turns into inflammation. Inflammation causes a whole lot of problems.
Doris, tell us about the 2 most important parts of the hair.
Yes, this is very important, because so many people get this confused when they say, Doris, could you press my roots? And I'm like, could I press your roots? The root is beneath the scalp. That's one part. It's beneath the scalp. The shaft is above the scalp. Now, the shaft is the only thing we work on. We work over the root, but not on the roots. Okay, be very clear about that. So don't let anybody press your roots, relax your roots, color your roots, because they have made it beneath the scalp when
They're
that
peeling your
happens.
scalp back.
Oh, yes, they're peeling your scalp back. But above the scalp, you have the shaft, which has 3 parts. Has the cuticle layer, the cortex layer, and the medulla. Now, when you're looking at the hair, when you're looking at the hair like you're looking at mine, you see the color. Well, that's because you're looking through the cuticle. That's the transparent layer. You're looking into the cortex layer where everything happens. That's where all your cysteine bonds and linkage, that's where everything happens in that layer, because sometimes the 3rd layer, which is the medulla, is missing. So anytime you're looking at a person's hair, you're looking at that second layer. But the first layer is the protective layer. It lies on the hair like the fish scales lie on the back of a fish, and it's there to protect the rest of the layers.
Wow. Wow. I visualized that. I remember you doing that last week like this.
Yes, it
Yes,
actually protects that.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, how does hemp powered hair help someone?
Well, hemp powered hair has about 12 different certified oils. For instance, let's take pumpkin seed oil. It reduces the itching and flaking and irritation. Now, the follicle lies zero point 0.3 centimeters beneath the epidermis, and that's the top layer. So when you have something like pumpkin seed oil, reduces that itchy flaking, because if you itching, you're gonna what? You're going to stretch. And if you stretch, you could easily irritate that layer, which can also irritates the follicle. And it also, the black seed oil, it actually help reduces DHT, which is production. It helps the DHT production and assists in controlling hair loss and reduces inflammation. That's the focus in all of the product that we have in our hemp powered hair. We also have rosemary, Kathy. Rosemary is a natural DHT blocker, and it improves at the cellular level. And I had the opportunity of interviewing an oncologist because it was really bothering me, at what point do a person lose their hair with chemotherapy? I was very blessed. I'm a 13-year breast cancer survivor, but I never had to have chemo. But I was asking the oncologist, what happens when a person loses their hair at that level? And she told me, she said, Doris, it is at the cellular level that the hair is lost. So that told me right then, if it's at the cellular level, it goes all the way back. And if you notice people who've had chemo and their hair returns, it's a different grade of hair. So that let me know it is at the cellular level. So our rosemary oil, it improves the cellular generation, and it also reduces the itchy scalp and help thickens the hair. And it is a natural DHT blocker. And we always want to use things that are natural. We don't want chemicals, because chemicals causes a lot of side effects. So that's why we're getting away from the chemicals that's in product and going to the natural. So I'm excited about Wakanda. They did their homework when it became time to restore the hair. Because we have moringa. Moringa is from a tree, not a tree. The moringa deals with the overall health of the body, and it has vitamin A, E, biotin, and zinc, and it also has silica, which connects to the hair growth. Everything we do, we wanted to make sure that we was dealing in restoration, and it promotes good health. And if you don't have good health, you're not going to get good results, because hair is the appendages of skin, just like your nails. So when you have good health, you have good results.
Um, Gloria asked, how often do you take it orally? How often do you put it on the scalp? And how many drops for scalp and oral?
Okay, under the tongue, it should be 6 drops, and at least 3 times a week. And then on the scalp, it depends on the area, depending on how wide is the area. But you want to make sure you dropping it so it gets all over, but your concentration is going to be in the area where you're diffusing. And Kathy and I now have this running joke about the hairlines. Now, what you want to do to make sure your hairline is intact, if you don't know this already, you take your little finger and put it over your eyebrow and close them down like this. And where this pointed finger land is where your hairline should begin. Now, if your hairline is not where that finger there land, then there's some challenges there. So you want to put a drop here, here, and here. And you want to gently massage it in, move it in an upward motion. Why do you want to do it in an upward motion? Because you're bringing the blood to that area. We have peppermint oil also in our hemp powered hair, and that stimulates the blood circulation. And you want to do the same thing to the other side. You want to put the drop in the center and come 2 drops down and massage it upward motion. I was sharing with my granddaughter this morning because I had to take her to school. And when she put a moisturizing on her face, I said, Kenzie, how do we rub our face? She said, I don't want to get old, Grandma, so I'm going to rub it up. And she's rubbing it up because the muscles is attached and up. So you don't want to pull it down. I said, that's right, Kenzie.
That's
You don't
right.
want to pull it down. So you want to always rub up. So when we're
Always do
rubbing our
this.
oil in, we want to always rub it in an upward motion. So we're bringing the blood up to that area.
Wow, I love that. So we've got our two parts of our hair. We've got we've got to be able to treat that. And would you say that hemp powered hair really does give you that nourishment that you're looking for?
Oh yes, hemp powered hair is focused. Its focus is to go to that to the follicle. See, the one thing we got to always concentrate on, what are we doing for the follicle support? And when you can keep a healthy follicle, you can definitely keep hair on your head. So it
Now,
nourishes, hemp powered hair nourishes the hair follicle and
Meridian, I
stimulates
see
the
that your
growth.
hand is up. If you can put your question in the chat, that would be great so everybody can see the question and then hear the answer. Does anyone have a specific question, maybe a condition or a situation that you have in particular might be able to help someone else? So feel free to ask your question. Do you have hemp powered shampoo and would you share the benefits? It is coming.
Wow. Yes, it is. I'm
As a matter of
excited.
fact, Melissa mentioned tonight, today about what was the
It's
name of
going
the
to be in
shampoo?
the, I
The
don't know.
Lingonberry. The
Right,
Lingonberry shampoo?
it's going to be in the packet. It's in
Yeah,
the Christmas packet.
that's right. There's a Lingonberry shampoo that we have that is doing exactly what Doris is talking about, making sure that your follicle is healthy, cleansed with natural ingredients, that your scalp is nourished. Because as a trichologist and being around Doris, as she being a trichologist, I've learned that body, your entire body's health is reflected in your hair. And
Exactly.
so, you drinking enough water, eating the right things, and nourishing that garden. This is a garden up here, and this is your crop. And so, you nourish that garden, your crop will go out healthy. What age is too young? My 1-year-old granddaughter's hair doesn't seem to grow back. It's very short compared to the rest. What do you think about that?
Okay. My granddaughter, I started her, she was 3 years old. And I would put it under her tongue and I would put it on her hair. And she has a beautiful head of hair. So these are all certified oils, but let me share something with you. Make sure this is for the adults as well as the children that you do a 24-hour patch test. Now, what is a patch test? It's a predisposition test to see if you're allergic to any of the oils that's in there. Because our baobab is a tree nut. It comes from a tree, which is a tree nut, that we know that if you're allergic to nuts, you might be allergic to hemp power hair. We have wild salmon oil in there. Some people may be allergic to salmon or maybe allergic to fish. So you want to do a 24-hour predisposition test. And the way you do it, behind the ear or in the armpits. Okay, in the armpit. Wait 24 hours. And then if nothing happened, you should be safe in using it. And we use it on our 3-year-old, so she was fine. Matter of fact, I was doing a presentation and she came up front of the class and opened up her mouth for me to drop it under there. I said, oh, if this had been not good for you, I would be in trouble.
I
But
mean,
she came right up, Kathy, opened her mouth for me to drop it under her tongue.
and how many drops do you give the 3-year-old?
About 2 drops, 1 to 2 drops.
And how many pounds do you think she weighs?
Um, 3 years old, Kathy. I'm not sure, but she was little. She was preemie too, so she was even smaller than a 3-year-old.
So maybe less than 20 pounds still?
Yeah, she probably was, I'm sure.
So there is, Crystal, a way for you to determine the size of your
Uh,
child in relationship to the number of drops. Doris is right on target with the number of drops that you would give a child that size, 1 years old to 3 years old. 1 to 2 drops is all that would be necessary. And then, of course, if you're going to do the topical, you would do exactly the same thing as an adult. Put that
right.
1 to 2 drops in those areas of concern.
Exactly.
Um, Currently have hair loss due to wearing a weave as you start using the product. So you suggest stop wearing weaves altogether. If so, is wigs a better option?
Great question. Wigs are a better option. That way you can take that wig off at night and make sure your scalp is getting some oxygen. Make sure that your scalp is not under stress, because stress causes a lot of challenges when it comes to hair loss, especially when you get in weaves and they're braiding so tight. That's called traction alopecia. And if it continues, you can lose those follicles for good. So if you are wearing a weave right now, yes, go to a wig and treat your scalp. We have the shampoo that's coming, but you want to make sure that you are exfoliating that scalp really well, because what happens, your pores get clogged, nothing gets in and nothing gets out. And skin is the largest organ of elimination. So if you need to exfoliate that scalp to get those toxin out so you don't have folliculitis, that's important, because now you won't get your hemp powered hair oil in. So yes, stop wearing the weave for a while and wear a wig. And when you wear a wig, make sure you put something under, like a stocking, so it doesn't cause this friction. Because anytime you having rubbing, that's friction, and friction is causing breakage. So you don't want to do that. But yes, give your scalp up, give your hair a rest.
Excellent, excellent question. I know there's another message coming in. Let's see here. I thought there was. Um, what age is too young? Going back. Okay. Oh, okay. Crystal just wishes your daughter well.
Oh, thank you,
That's
thank you.
fantastic. Um, Meridian, I didn't see your question in here. If you want to drop it into the chat, I saw your hand was up, but now it's down. Maybe that was a mistake. And I do see that there's more people that have come in. So I've located Darlena and Crystal as our guests. If you are guests that have just joined us since I asked that, then go ahead and drop your name and the person that invited you, because we're about to do some giveaways.
There's a question,
Dan,
Kathy.
yep, I see that. How do you
Okay.
exfoliate your scalp?
Okay, and I'm gonna share with you. You can take in a chelating type of shampoo, which I'm so excited about our shampoo that'll be in the gift boxes. You can take that and put a little, just depend on how much hair you have, but take it and mix it with a little baking soda, and take a nice soft toothbrush, not a really hard toothbrush, and go and rotate on your scalp. That'll deep cleanse those pores and get all that buildup out of there. Just rotate, go over the entire scalp and rotate, and then let it sit for a few minutes, maybe about 5 minutes, with a plastic cap on your head, and then take and shampoo it out. Just go over it with the shampoo. So I can't wait until you get the shampoo in your cabinet and onto your head.
That's exactly the same way that I detox my locks, with just a little bit of ACV added in there with that baking soda. So yeah, absolutely. Wow. Great questions. Any more questions before we do this giveaway? Anybody want to win anything? Do we have any other guests other than
I
our
did.
two? No, sir. No, ma'am. You cannot do that.
There's another question.
Charlotte asks, is the empowered oil serve as a conditioner?
It can be, yes, as a treatment. Remember, if you remember me saying that you can take, after you shampoo your hair, towel dry your hair 50%, or place them under the dryer for 50% drying. Take 12 drops of hemp powered hair and mix it with water, a half an ounce to an ounce, depending on how much hair you have, and spray it in really good all over the head. Then completely dry the hair. Or if you're going to just style it with your memory foam, put it on there and style the hair. Or if you're going to, if you have braids or whatever style you have, you want to make sure it's 50% dry before you put the treatment on, and then you can continue to finish the style. Yes, it can be used as a treatment. And everybody, you guys, should have a bottle of hemp powered hair. I can't even stress that enough. I don't care if you say, well, Doris, I don't need it. You see me? I feel right now I don't need it, but I use it because I want to make sure I stay on the up on when it comes to hair loss, because 51% will be gone before you realize it. And I don't want to be trying to catch up to hair loss. I want to stay ahead of the hair loss. So everybody should have a bottle of hemp powered hair, and not just have a bottle. They should be using the bottle and make sure that it will work if you have a follicle. And I'm a living proof of that. I have a head of hair, thick head of hair, and growing. I haven't cut it lately, but I'm excited about the growth and trying to decide whether I'm going to cut it down some more.
Well, awesome. Well, Darlene, thank you so much for being honest about being a brand new representative, and welcome to the family. Do we have any other guests other than Crystal, who was invited by Fatima?
And every week we invite people. Eventually they'll catch up. We're just asking that you who are on here today, if you found that it was beneficial for you, is to invite somebody. We do this every Monday at 12:30 Pacific, 2:30 Central, and 3:30 Eastern. So, I mean, it may be in the middle of the day, but it's hairstylists. We're trying to get hairstylists on board so they can get their clients on board. So this
Absolutely.
thing, we can put a stop to this epidemic. It's an epidemic. And this is a very expensive epidemic, because it's like $3.6 billion in the year 2016
Wow.
that was
Wow.
spent
Wow.
on on hair goods. And a lot of it is side effects, you guys. And a lot of it stop after you stop using it. So Wakanda did their homework. And all you have to do is get on board while the train is pulling away from the station. That's all you
That's
have to
right.
do.
That's right. Well, I am going to give Crystal a quick little test. It's going to be one question because we have one guest, right? And I feel pretty confident, Crystal, that you're going to answer this question correctly. I just want to test you a little bit, right? So,
Uh,
this is for you, our one guest, Crystal. True or false? Hemp powered hair stimulates the follicles and promotes healthy hair. Please put your answer in the chat. True or false? Hemp powered hair. There you go. I knew it. See, I knew it. I knew you would know that answer. So you want to take a look at the chat. I'm going to put a email here, support@wakanda.com. I want you to let them know which type of gummies you have. You just won a small pack of our yummy gummies. Oh my goodness, they are delicious and effective. Okay, so you could have the pure gummies or the broad spectrum. This has no THC in there. Or you could have our gummies that come in the black pack. These are power, and they have 0.3% of THC. Neither one is going to make you high, but you get to choose your preference. So either way, you get to have some great, effective gummies there. They help you sleep, sex, and inflammation. So either one or all three that you're looking for, you're going to find that with the gummy. So send your email, Crystal, to support@wakanda.com. Congratulations. Congratulations. Fatima has just mentioned that to you, and we congratulate you as well. Let them know which one you want. Give them your information, and they'll send that right out to you. So do we have any more questions? We got a couple more minutes. Deanna, I see that your hand is raised. Go ahead and drop your question in the chat unless you mistakenly hit that. Feel free to ask your question. No, no worries. An error? No problem. No problem. Just want to make sure we didn't miss you. The email is support, and I'm going to copy and paste it in here so you can read it. Support@wakanda.com. And I'm pasting it right here. And actually, I sent it to panelists, so that's why you didn't see it. So sorry. Here you go. Support at wakana.com. You're just going to let them know which type of gummy you want, either power or pure. Give them your address. Let them know that you won on today's Hair Zoom, that you were a guest of Miss Fatima Horn, and then you will be able to get that. All right. Any other questions before I let Miss Doris go? Again, Doris, we really appreciate your commitment and your dedication, your knowledge to us. We know that this is a stressful time. I won't say troubling. It's a stressful
Well,
time for you because, oh, actually, Gloria has a question. How much water do you mix with the 6 drops?
oh, you're talking about for the treatment, you mix 12 drops with a half an ounce to an ounce of water, depending on how much hair the person has.
Awesome. Darlena says that's great info. Thank you, Doris. Absolutely. Thank you, Darlena,
Thank you guys
for
for coming
coming.
out.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And in case Gloria is talking about drinking water afterwards, what is your
Mm.
suggestion after you put your tincture under?
You really, after you drop the 6 drops under your tongue, you should wait 60 seconds before you do anything. Do not take anything. Just wait 60 seconds before you swallow them. And then you will wait 2 or 3 more minutes before you take of anything after that. I'm going to give it time to get into the body.
Crystal says my hair is very thick and I have locks. I'm looking for a treatment that will spray that spray will works for me. I Crystal, just so you know, I have locks here. And I use in my spray bottle the hemp powered hair. Because I have a lot, I fill up my bottle with water about that much. I have a little short bottle. So my bottle's only about 6 inches, 8 inches tall. But I have it about this full of water and then I have the 6 drops in there. I mean the 12 drops in there. And so I spray that on my hair every day, actually, just to give it some moisture so that when I manipulate it, it's not dry and brittle.
Because the salmon oil in there, in the product, will cause it to be strong, shiny, healthier. So you want to make sure that you're using your hemp powered hair so you can get maximum um, success.
I
And I believe you will.
consistently I consistently use that and I consistently get compliments about my locks. And so I'm
Yes.
sure it is having to do with that treatment.
And they have grown so much, Kathy. Woo, Jesus.
it, it has grown and it's helped me with I had a little area up here, same little top area. It's now pretty full. You can't even see it. I'm only wearing a hat today because it's rainy and I don't like the fuzz going on with my hair. The humidity in the air is just really crazy. But listen, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. And we appreciate your time and attention. Doris, let us know how your daughter is doing. I'm sure she's gonna be
I
fine
sure
as well.
will.
And
Yes, I'm
listen, thank
looking
you
back
guys
here
for
because
joining us.
it's 1 o'clock. I know they should have called me by now, but I'm getting ready to call them when I get off
All
this
right.
phone.
Well, listen, we're gonna let you go and do that. You guys have a fantastic time. Do remember, if you're a distributor, go ahead and get your professionals on the line every Monday at the same time. This is 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.